Hello and welcome to the Theory of Thing Investment Podcast, brought to you by Wakey Wakey. Well, it's not actually; it's just it happens to be sitting here. My name is James Whelan, live from Studio 57. I'm the managing director of Barclay Pearce Capital's wealth management team, and you are here in Studio 57 at the Sydney HQ of BPC. Welcome to the family. I'm joined here by Heath Moss of HLM Investments. Heath, how are you now?
Very well, mate. Very well. Busy week for me. But quiet week on markets. Yeah, I got a triple witching for myself today. Just did Ausbiz, roll into this podcast, and then I got SBS later on. So yeah, busy
How is
day for
Ricardo?
me.
Yes, very good.
Yeah, Ricardo. Yeah, good bloke.
That's always
Very
good.
good bloke.
He is.
So yeah.
That's always a good spot, that one. I like that.
Yeah. They
was
get about 30 seconds to a minute on the SBS, and then they put the rest in the podcast. So yeah,
Yep.
it's always a good chat.
The key is obviously I'm not going to tell you how to suck eggs, but I remember sort of talking to Ricardo about it. If you can just get that one bite, it makes his life so much easier of just going.
Yep.
And we can see that there is almost no chance that there will be an RBA rate cut next week. You know, that sort of thing where you just like bang, he's going to use that. Everyone's life is easier.
Exactly.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, guys.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. G'day, Ricardo.
Bit of media trading.
Media training is just like you just need that simple soundbite. And I quite often I'd be like, so you can see that there won't be, and it's just like, James, just say the one thing, right? Just say the line. Anyway,
I always
good on you, mate.
SBS harder to do than a live cross there to Ausbiz or something like that. I don't know why. I'm just a little bit more natural on Ausbiz, whereas SBS I feel a little bit more rigid. SBS I feel more rigid.
Because it's
so
real, because it's real TV. Is it because it's actually on the flicky channels? Yeah.
Few more eyes will see it. I get messages that evening from family going, "Are you on TV? What are you doing?"
That's that. I tell you what, when I did SBS the first time, that's when I actually started getting messages from people just going, "James, are you somebody?" And it's just like, no, I'm not.
No,
I'm just doing a 30-second spot on SBS. It's not. It's just like I'm not an economist. I'm not somebody. I don't know what's going on. Do not. It's all advice is general in nature, as you know. We're given and we're taken. Mate, what an absolute thrashing of a week. Happy 4th of July to you, brother man. You good?
Yeah, happy 4th of July to you and our American friends. Basically means the market has done, well, in terms of information, there's not much really out there. Market's been very good, actually. The US markets. Do we want to roll straight into it?
No, I don't. I want to talk about some stuff. First off,
okay.
happy belated birthday to my desk assistant, Will, who I don't know how old he turns, but we only hire footballers here. He's a good guy. I have noticed, and I don't know if he listens to this. This will be an interesting test if he listens to us. And the thing is, if you've got a good junior advisor who is doing really well, the worst thing you could do is publicly say that he's actually doing really well, because then all of a sudden the recruiters start calling straight through. But he has developed an amazing talent for actually starting to really pick some good stocks. He's really coming into his. I'm like the progression that he's shown is just phenomenal. And he's really just he gets it. He gets stocks. He's becoming he's got all the hallmarks of being a really good analyst, and all the hallmarks of being an actual real good stock picker. Something that I have never been very good at all. Being very humble as I am. I'm more of a demographics guy, more of a big shift sort of person. So he's got the knack. He's got the knack. He's got the love of actually going in and actually knowing the intricacies of a stock. Anyway, it's a belated birthday to him, so we're going to go for steaks later, as you do, as is the tradition.
Fantastic.
Of all brokers everywhere. We're going to go and cut some meat up and raise a glass, which is always good. Amazingly, and here's the thing: the Fairmont, which is a tradition as old as history, as old as time, one of those classic broker restaurants. I don't think there's ever been a time when I've gone to book a table at 9 o'clock in the morning and not been able to get one. Today was that day. Full, absolutely full. Can't get anything until 2:30 in the afternoon. Had to go somewhere else. So the Fairmont is, anyone who's listening from outside Sydney, Fairmont or outside broking, Fairmont is an institution as old as broking itself. Jackets get hung up, big talk, big BS talk, that sort of things like that. Amazingly, and this is wrong. This is what's wrong with the industry. Is that it's rare that you ever see people of the opposite gender or of the other gender. You don't see women. You don't see many women in there. It's just that sort of culturally, it's awful. I'm not encouraging that sort of behaviour. It's not. But anyway, phenomenally, we're actually starting to see. Apparently, anecdotally, there was a table of women eating at the Fairmont a couple of weeks ago, and it was reported on. I know, and it was just like, oh, we're progressing. How isn't this wonderful? Yeah, no words. They're just like I don't know what to say. I was just like, that's how this is all supposed to look, right? They're talking breaking.
Exactly.
They're from whatever. You're going hard. It's the same play. It's wonderful. Anyway, but look, based on the fact that the Fairmont, my anecdotal evidence is going to say that 25 basis point hike.
Based on the Fairmont, beautiful.
Just based on the same nonsense everyone else is doing it based on, mate. What do you? All right, we'll cut it to you, mate. What are you seeing out there? I'll just pull your charts up. Heath Moss with the market charts up. Start with 25 basis points. No, don't actually start with fresh all-time highs, baby.
All-time highs, and we had the US market shut last night for 4th of July celebrations, of course, and I think it's open tonight, but it will be very low volume as most people take leave. So the SPX, what are we up? About 1.4% for the week. Only 3 trading days though, and Nasdaq up about 2.6%. I think it's been a barnstorm, and it hasn't been all Nvidia either. Nvidia's had a fairly tame week when all things are considered. So it's just again. It's more complacency. It's more the market being very comfortable with where things are at. It looks overbought here. You can see on the RSI there that it's well overbought. Wouldn't be surprised if we see a 5 to 10% correction in the next month or two. I think it would be healthy. But there wasn't really much macro news out this week, except for the ISM services number, which came in extremely weak. Came in at 48.8, which is back in control, down from 43 point something, and it was expected to be at 52.5. And every single read underneath
down from 50. Did you say down from 53 point something?
Yeah, down from 53. So it was in very healthy territory.
Yeah,
down to 48. Now
it's in contractionary territory. Okay.
Yeah, these reads are volatile, but that's it was noticeable. And new orders were down, employment was down, prices paid were down. So that softening of the US economy continues. We saw continuing jobless applications up higher than expected again this week. So that was really it in terms of macro news. So yeah, it's really much of the same over in the US. If I move over to the 10-year yield, we saw after that debate last week, I know we rolled from the podcast straight into the Trump versus Biden debate.
Going on while we were talking. Hilarious stuff. I didn't realize it was as bad as it was.
Absolute debacle for Biden and co. And they are really scrambling at the moment. I've got a feeling he and his wife don't want to step down, but the rest of the party do. So want him to. So we'll see what happens there. But yields did take a spike, and that's probably because Trump's odds shortened. And his policies are slightly more expansionary. Like Biden and co are looking at winding back those tax cuts he's implemented next year. That's unlikely to happen if Trump comes in. And he's just cutting taxes, deregulating, more expansion for the economy, more chance of rates and inflation staying higher. And you can see that with the jump of yields at the end there. But they really have moderated again, and are down about 6 basis points for the week on the back of that macro data. So they're the 10 years. US dollars seen some weakening as well. Seen it roll over from that 106 on the Dixie down to around 105. That's helped commodities quite a bit. If we look at copper, move that out of the way, you can see copper's bounced off the lows there. 437 a pound it was. It's now back up to 457 a pound. Looking very, very good there.
I did say on the chat, we've got, just cutting into that because I got to do some things. I did say on the chat, I like copper here. It was about 3 days ago, was it?
Yep, yeah, it was around about there. Yep.
I'm just seeing that shape. It was just that the Chinese inventories or Chinese stockpiles. I said it was over. Just and you were like a little bit. I was just
some great analysis there.
Yeah, all is general in nature. But it's just it's worth a tickle. right?
It
And if
is.
it backtests,
And
if it backtests that support, to quote old Assad Tanos, it's going to
yep,
backtest that support, sits on that line that people
yep,
who are listening can't see, but it'll go up, sits on that line, mate. If it holds firm, double it
watch
up.
out. We
Go
actually
for it.
saw City during the week come out with a report on copper saying they expected to average $12,000 a ton next year. So
Good
that's
enough.
not far away.
Good enough. You
So
know it's
for
going. You know
the
it's going up.
so it's about I think around $10,000 a ton at the moment. So
Yep.
yeah, everything's looking good for copper. The US cuts possibly coming in, a weaker US dollar. China stimulus maybe at their meeting at the end of the month because obviously they still need it. So yeah, things are looking better for copper than they were about a week or two ago. So having said that, though, I mean it's much higher than it was 12 months ago. That was in the low $3 a pound area about 12 months ago. So we're still doing much better there. Now, if
Buy
we
those
move to
big dips.
oil.
Oil.
You see oil
Yikes.
here looking very strong. We
Yep.
had the largest drawdown on US inventories this week that we've had in 12 months. US dollars softening, so looking good there. Not much else driving oil, but I suppose the US economy is still remaining quite solid, even though things are softening. Has spurred it on. China maybe looking a bit better has pushed it higher as well. So yeah, it's around almost $84 a barrel WTI now, and it got as low as 72 about 2 months ago. So
Yep.
it's creeping back up there. I think it was last week or the week before, how I liked Woodside in the energy space. Still really like them. They've crept back up from about $27.50 to over $29. So yeah,
A
it's
stronger than
things are.
expected driving season anticipated by the banking analysts.
Well, there we go. Yeah,
That's
that's reason right there.
that's one. If anyone wants to subscribe to our daily note, the Barclay Pierce Capital Wealth Management Daily Note marked that. That was something in there. I strongly recommend that if you don't subscribe to any morning note and you just want a good blast of the news with a bit of bits and pieces, and also the occasional really good stock tip by my junior advisor, who I'm going to stop talking up because he's going to have another job by next week. I can't afford to lose him. Please subscribe to my morning note. Please subscribe to Heath Moss's monthly, which came out last night. I saw it drop. I haven't changed to read it yet last night because I was trying to get a deal done.
Yep, just shoot me a message on Twitter or somewhere or an email or something like that, and I'll add you to the list. I don't mind that.
Hit the button for both of us. Go
Yep.
nuts. All care, no responsibility. Now, oil, mate. Can you show me Aussie US, please?
Aussie US. Where are we? There we go.
I got a little feeling. Oh my goodness, look at that.
There we
Okay.
go. Look at that chart.
Right,
That is phenomenal.
That's breakout. That's breakout territory. That's going to keep. I reckon that's going to keep going. I've got no
Yep.
reason to think that will not continue.
No.
Especially with the Fairmont being booked out on a Friday. Rate. I can't afford another rate hike. I'll tell you that for free.
Well, I think also. I mean, we're sort of beholden to the US dollar itself. I mean, if the dollar's going to go up, then there's no way that our Australian dollar's going to not go down. So really, it's
Good chat.
probably from the weakness in the US. I mean, it's US dollar is such a beast that it's so large that you can't fight it. You can't fight it. And our currency is so speculative. So I think US dollar being so weak this week, and China looking a little bit better. Inflation a little bit higher than expected here in Australia. The fact that cuts look maybe look, they've got 2 cuts factored into the US, but if data keeps on softening the way it is in there, then maybe they get 3 by the end of the year. So it's
all bets
quite
are
possible.
off on all bets are off on that one. I think
So, yeah.
it's ridiculous. What I hate about this is it's at this stage right now, it's ridiculous for people to make. I mean, banks need to make a prediction. I hate the prediction game. Always have hated the prediction game. Right now at this stage,
Yep.
so, we predict another 2 cuts. Yes, you've got to make those calls. Yes, you do. But it's like the data is so sketchy, and it's so swinging back and forth. And then Powell says something, the rest of the board say something. Anyway, it frustrates me, the whole prediction game. I hate it. I can't stand the prediction game, and I refuse to play that whole. James, what's your year-end target for the Dow? So, man, $1 billion?
Billion?
Give me a number. Anyway, get into that, and then I got something to talk to you about. Go on.
So yeah, the Australian dollar looking quite good there. Probably heads back up to that high around 68.5. The
Yep.
average, I think the long-term average for the Aussie dollar is about 74, 75. So we're well below that.
Sounds about
If
right.
it crept
Yeah.
back up there, that would help inflation here. Obviously, we import a lot of goods, so higher Aussie dollar is better for us. But yeah,
Yep.
so I think that's basically it, mate. I mean, I don't. It was again a very quiet week,
Tesla.
short week. Tesla. Oh yeah, I'll put Tesla up
You
quickly.
you get go on. You can do a victory lap on Tesla, mate. You've been bullish this stock for a
Yeah,
while, and is it 8 straight day? Oh my goodness, look at
there we
that
go.
chart.
Look at that. Yeah, stick all the
Oh,
rocket emojis all over that bloody
it'll
chart.
make your heart
Yeah,
stop. That
it
is
is.
three. What is
Their
that? Three soldiers that
deliveries.
they call that chart formation.
I think so. Yeah,
Yep. Yep.
the deliveries during the week that they reported were better than expected. Still weaker than last year, but
Mm,
much better than expected. And well, I mean, I was listening to a podcast. This is a while ago, and they were talking about Tesla and BYD and the fact that they were so far ahead of the competition. It wasn't funny, not only
mm,
in terms of sales, but in terms of the technology and especially the battery technology. And what they're doing at the moment by cutting their prices so aggressively is eating into market share and gaining market share off a lot of other incumbents, which will fall by the wayside. There's a lot of EV makers over in China at the moment. A lot of them are going bust because they can't compete with these sort of prices.
yep.
The tariffs over in Europe will help Tesla out because they haven't been whacked with tariffs. There's this talk that they may look at whacking them with tariffs, but they haven't yet. Whereas the likes of BYD, etc., have. We already know the US have whacked huge tariffs on Chinese cars. I mean, it's similar to Toyota, etc., in the 80s, where everyone whacked tariffs on Toyota and other
Yeah.
Japanese models for fear that they would flood their markets and destroy their own car manufacturing. And that's why Ford and Holden became so popular here in Australia because
Yeah.
Toyota, etc., couldn't compete. So yeah, Tesla looking really good here. Probably takes a breath sooner rather than later, but a good performer. I think actually in that the performance chart. Actually, I don't have that up. But
That's right.
performance for the first half of the year, Tesla are up 100% from last year because it was a really bad year last year for Tesla.
What's the
So
point? It
they're
was. Yeah.
yeah,
Everyone was. I'm
yeah.
not a big fan. Um.
No, no,
Okay,
no.
I've got
And
to
a lot
handle
of
that. Right.
people can't separate Musk from Tesla in terms of liking the actual product and the cars and the company uh, over Musk. I mean, no one really likes the bloke, but the company itself has some legs. So yeah,
No. No
it's
question.
been a
No
good week.
question. All right.
Cool. So
And I did hear
that's about
Paul
it.
Donovan on the U. Paul Donovan is, I think, he's CIO of Wealth Division of UBS. I can never get
Yeah, I
his
think so.
exact title
Yep.
right. He does a very good podcast just before the first thing in London, so you can catch it in the afternoon, evening our time when it hits on the UBS. But I always listen
Yep.
to it in the morning because it tells you sort of what he sees coming up for that day, which then sort
Yep.
of gives you can bookend your podcast listening when you're on your way to work. Because
Yep.
I don't care about staying up overnight because I'm not trading the US markets anymore or anything like that, which is
Yep.
great. And I'm so happy for it. He did say he dropped something saying that actual real inflation in the US is actually much more disinflationary or deflationary than anything else is showing. And
Yep.
I'm inclined to listen to him on that one. So the one big takeaway
Yeah.
is that I see you are probably correct that rates, and I'm not going to put a number on it because that would be hypocritical of me to do it, but I think that rates are going to come off more than people are anticipating. I think that inflation is going to drop more than people are reading into it at the moment. I'm happy to ride that US dollar drop, which then adds to my copper base that's there. And I'm going to go and
Yep.
do that. Got to get
Yeah.
this cover. Now, I've got a question for you as we just need to wrap it up. We've got someone who's here a couple of days a week, and they're learning and they're new to the markets, i.e., completely fresh, completely green to the markets.
Yep. Yep.
And I'm training her up on some admin and bits and pieces. It's great. I love teaching people. I love this is a learning hospital. It's good, and I don't trust anyone that hasn't worked in a bookings team to be able to handle anything other than getting my sandwiches. And
Hmm.
I'm training her up to be able to learn how reconciliations work, how to put bookings through, how actual trade support works, because you can learn the front end, the back end, and
Sure.
everything that's there. And we're going through things. And I was trying to describe. We're doing our morning huddle, and we're talking about the 10-year yield. And I was just like, so the 10-year yield does this, which means the US dollar does this, which means the commodities do that. Just that simple sort of, second derivative chart. Really easy things. I think it's easy now, but obviously when I was starting, I had no idea.
Yep.
And I tried to describe the power of the 10-year, the US 10-year, and it's difficult to describe. If you're going to put 10 words into it about what, I don't know, I'm putting you on the spot here, but how do you describe why it's as influential as it is to someone who's completely green?
It's the instrument that every other investment is measured against.
Yeah.
That's probably the best way to describe it.
And then it's just like, why?
Yeah, it's basically the risk-free rate. It's basically the risk-free rate. There's no chance of the US defaulting.
Yep.
So
I didn't say that. That's what I missed. It's spot on.
Yeah, we can measure everything else against it, and that's basically it. And
it's the scale.
Most traded instrument in the world.
Yeah.
So
most most liquid, biggest market, or apart from Chinese property or whatever the hell it was. It's that's a good way of putting it. I always need to sort of, its comparisons are always my way of educating. It's like the scales at the butchers. It's your zero, it's your tear weight, right? Yes, that's your zero. Everything is sort of back and forth based on that. That's how I'm going to do it. Thank you very much for that, Heath. Good. All right, mate. Get a footy tip in. I think we both got a win last week.
Yeah, we
I got Newcastle up. Go Unites, and you got the. Oh no, I also picked the Crows.
Hawkers.
You got the Hawks over at West Coast.
Chris had a good one, which was a little bit out of the blue, but Hawks won by 10 goals. I think the line was 11.5 points, so well covered that. More than covered that. So what am I putting money on this week? Actually the two different types of bets. Crows versus Lions, last game of the round. The line is 27.5. I'm putting money on the Crows for that. I reckon they will lose by less than that.
Crows will lose by less than that.
Yep. I don't think the Crows can win, but it will be closer than 5 goals.
Good positive attitude there from you, Heath. Good.
Yep. A realist.
Okay.
It's paying $1.90.
Okay.
Or
that's $1.90. Yep.
Or you can go Lions for 1-39 for $2.15. A little bit more money there, but I think I think it'll be a 2 or 3 goal win for the Lions. So
okay, thank you very much. Good. I am going to go with the New Zealand Warriors. Give them a few points. How many points have they got here? New Zealand Warriors playing away to the Canterbury Bulldogs. They've given them a 5.5 start. I hate 5.5 starts, so pick your own line. I'm going to do here, and I'm going to give the Warriors a full 6. Give them a full converted try, 6.5. That's $1.74. The Warriors to not lose by more than 6. How does that sound? All right. I think they'll win, but give yourself a few points for a few cents. That's it. And there you go. Bet with your head not over it. We are not a gambling podcast, nor do we intend to be. We're barely even an investment podcast. Let's be honest here.
Exactly.
All right. On that note, Heath.
Yep, I'm done.
Thank you. Yeah, mate. Thanks very much. Yeah, this has been
no worries.
Thing. Oh, also, no, wait. I've got one more thing. We've got the investment summit next week on the 10th of July in London at the LSE. Thank you very much. The LSE has been amazing. We've got Constance Iron presenting. We've got H2X presenting. Wellnex is going over there as well with the dual listing that's coming up. Aureus is going on. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. There was another company, and I'm going to get shot if I've forgotten them. No, it's gone. Anyway, no, I am actually going to get shot if I can't remember what the name of that company is. Anyway, I'm sure it'll come to me soon. Anyway, it's going to be great. Good luck to all the crew that's over there. I'm going to be staying here running the show as they're all away. But it's a very successful. It's sold out, or it's fully booked, which is great.
Fantastic.
We've got all of the seats at capacity. We've got all the companies that are over there doing what they need to do. We're absolutely stoked about what's coming up. So on that note, my friend, good luck to you, Heath.
No worries. I'm going to go get ready for Ricardo.
Say hi from me, mate. He's such a good bloke. You have been joining us for the Theory of Thing Investment podcast. Thank you very much. Stay safe. Have yourself a great weekend. Be good to yourself and to others. Mark well. Good on you, Heath.
Have a good weekend, everyone.